Kerrang.
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 Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kerrang TV.
Kerrang.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be looking into Kerrang TV, an absolute staple in an emo British household. It was recently announced that Kerrang TV will be closing, and so just think of this video as like a tribute to it. If you're not already subscribed, then please do hit the subscribe button. I post new videos weekly. And as always, MCR5 2024, it's so happening. It's so real. You just gotta believe.
In this week's Kerrang magazine, we go access all areas of the mighty Fall Out Boys' sold-out UK tour, and Kerrang investigates the fall of pop-punk heroes Blink-182. Plus, the sexiest men in rock poster special, starring Panic at the Disco, My Chemical Romance, and more. Kerrang! Live life loud every Wednesday.
Before we get into the history of Kerrang TV, we first need to establish what Kerrang is. Kerrang was first published in June 1981 as a one-off supplement in Sound's newspaper. However, it was so popular that it became a monthly publication. This was until it switched to a weekly publication in 1987. Kerrang is often cited as being one of the first publications to focus on metal and heavy rock music. It was a trailblazer. Kerrang is so iconic that it reportedly even coined the term thrash metal. The magazine featured interviews, tour and album reviews, acts to look out for, posters, and so much more. In some earlier issues, they would do 3D features and would provide 3D glasses, which is so iconic. If you've ever seen Ks on the front of albums, like 4 out of 5 Ks, then that's Kerrang reviewing the album. In the 90s, after being sold and several editor changes, Kerrang moved away from exclusively focusing on metal and heavy rock. Brit rock, grunge, and nu metal were added to the roster. Bands such as Korn, Manic Street Preachers, and Smashing Pumpkins were featured. This secured Kerrang's place as one of the most popular music magazines in the UK. Kerrang would expand genres again in the early 2000s to keep up with the increasing popularity of emo, pop punk, and metalcore. This is when I started buying Kerrang, and you already know I purchased it every week without fail. It was the highlight of my week. To be honest, I was obsessed, and I considered this to be the golden age of Kerrang. With over 80,000 copies sold each week in the UK, Kerrang became the most popular music magazine. This caused Kerrang to branch out into other formats, including Kerrang Radio, Kerrang Tour, and of course Kerrang TV.
Listen up, punks. Rockers, indie kids, skater girls, and forever emos. This is the music channel for you. Welcome to Kerrang, the home of the best rock and indie anthems from the noughties to now. Non-stop back-to-back music from the world's biggest rock and metal icons, as well as the hottest new alternative talents. It's not just for green days, it's for every day. Monday to Sunday, all day Kerrang. Just search music on your TV guide.
In June 2001, Kerrang TV launched. It followed the stereotypical programming of a music channel, but it was one of the first channels to focus on alternative music. Music videos aired, including premieres, as did exclusive interviews, live performances, and cool indents that are currently playing in the background. This format more or less stayed the same until Channel 4 purchased Kerrang TV in 2005. This took it to a whole new level. If you don't know, Channel 4 is one of the biggest broadcasting corporations in the UK. This meant Kerrang TV's programming expanded to include charts, fresh blood, and themed specials. Sam Carter from Architects called Kerrang a staple of his childhood. He said, "I spent so many hours watching it, and when I finally saw our videos on there, it was such an awesome moment. I feel like it was a really important place as a gateway into heavy and alternative music." Alex Holcomb, a DJ called Kerrang, the place and the hub for alternative people. "I just remember Kerrang TV being on all day, every day, watching my favorite bands in the world, and just being like, when I grow up, I want to be like that." I used to watch so much Kerrang TV, especially before school. There used to be no adverts on if it was really early in the morning, which meant I could consume even more. I think it's important to remember that this was happening in a time before most people had access to their own personal computers. Most families had access to one computer, which meant you couldn't hog it by playing music videos. We didn't have smartphones either, and so consuming content via the TV made the most sense. It's easy to look back and wonder why music channels were so popular. That doesn't really make sense today, but it made a lot of sense back then. In 2008, Bauer Media Group purchased Kerrang. Bauer Media is a giant. It owns over 600 magazines, 50 radio stations, and over 400 digital products worldwide. Basically, every major UK radio station is owned by them. This, however, didn't really affect Kerrang TV too much. That's not a read, just a matter of fact. If you didn't know Kerrang TV was purchased, then I don't think you would just by simply watching the channel. I consider that a good thing personally. Kerrang had its branding and programming down, and I don't think it needed to change. However, the same can't be said about other branches of Kerrang. From 2008 to 2019, Kerrang TV, like I said, remained the same as ever. It did adapt to the digital age, but that was about it. That was until 2019 when Channel 4 once again purchased Kerrang TV. If you're wondering why Channel 4 would buy a music station in 2019, the answer is that this was part of a much larger purchase and Kerrang TV just happened to be in the mix. They didn't specifically set out to buy Kerrang TV. Things seemed to stay the same as ever until February 2024. That's when Channel 4 announced that Kerrang TV would be closing. As much as I love all things Kerrang, this really didn't come as a surprise to me. Music channels seem pretty redundant these days. Channel 4 said Kerrang TV no longer delivered revenues or public value at a scale, and it said that it would instead be focusing on a new digital strategy. Kerrang TV was not the only channel to be affected, as several other music channels are closing too, but I only care about Kerrang. Channel 4 declared that it wanted to be a digital-first public service streamer and that it would be a double-digit million e-commerce business. Obviously, Channel 4 already has a streaming service, but I get the impression that they want to be the next Netflix or the next Disney+. And to that I say, please, Channel 4, we do not need another paid-for subscription streaming service. I love Kerrang, I do, but I won't be paying to stream a music channel. I'm sorry. The future of Kerrang TV is uncertain, but thankfully Kerrang Radio and Kerrang Magazine are still thriving. I listen to Kerrang Radio every day. I highly recommend it. 10 out of 10. So good. Whilst I hope Channel 4 continues Kerrang TV in some way, it's a waiting game, unfortunately. And that's it. That is the history of Kerrang TV. If you made it this far into this video, then thank you. And if you're not already subscribed, then please do hit the subscribe button. And also, if you have any topics you would like me to cover in videos, then please drop your suggestions down below. I've been Halloweeny, and I will see you all next week. And as always, stay beautiful, keep it ugly.